Welcome to episode number 2, where we speak about the current state of boxing, in our opinion. So we'll start off with the professional boxing scene and what our opinion of it is. As far as I'm concerned, the older generations of fighters were a lot more resilient, tough, skillful, just a lot classier than the fighters that we have now are, really.
I'd say more skillful than anything.
More skillful than anything, for sure, because listen, boxing is not just about being tough. That's one aspect of boxing. You have the skill set, which is the sweet science of boxing, which is exactly what makes you a great fighter instead of just a good fighter. RIP to Dwight Mohammed Kwawi, who died yesterday at some point. Absolute legend of the game. Again, there's not going to be many other fighters who are 5'6", 5'7", becoming light heavyweight, cruiserweight, and heavyweight,
and out jabbing heavyweights as well,
and out jabbing fucking George Foreman, for fuck's sake, who's like probably a foot taller than him. We would love to have picked his brains and found out how he.
Because you were saying
he got his jab off against all these big men.
Because you were saying a few weeks ago that in a video he was saying he'd never give his secrets up, and then last night he died. I sent to you straight away, didn't I? Saying, wonder what his secrets would have been if he would have spilled them.
Exactly. And this is why we're here sharing our truth, because at the end of the day, if we don't want to go to the grave with all of this knowledge in our heads, do we? You know what I mean? It's listen, pass on to the next generation, because that's what it's about: living, learning, and then teaching the next crop of fighters, PTs, whatever craft you're in. You know what I mean? But absolute legend of the sport. Tough man, had no amateur pedigree at all. Learned how to box in prison, and then came out and did what he did. Became a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? That is no easy feat at all. And we compare him now to the modern heavyweight scene, where basically Usyk's cleaned house.
Yeah.
And done 2 laps round the world, basically. He's beat everyone twice. And
he's not even heavyweight, really, is he?
And he's not even heavyweight, you know what I mean? It's crazy, because, listen, put Usyk against even the fighters in the early 2000s, the Lennox Lewis's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He probably would have struggled a lot, because the skill set was there, as well as them being naturally bigger guys. You know what I mean? We've got the biggest guys in the world, and they can't take down the skill set of Usyk, even though the first Dubois fight is a bit sus, because obviously he got hit.
He should have lost that, shouldn't he?
He really could. He really probably should have lost that. But listen, look how he came back. If I'm Dubois and I had that type of success after the first fight, the second fight shouldn't have been the way it was. A 5-round demolition job.
Yeah. Hardly
landed a fucking blow on him. Do you know what I mean? But again, it comes down to skill set. Boxing is a sweet science. It's a skillful sport, and you've got to be at the highest level of skills to get to the very elite. So in my opinion, boxing is not what it used to be. Is that down to the coaching? Maybe. Is that down to society and the way we are? Naturally, we're not wolves anymore. We're domesticated chihuahuas, like we spoke about in the first episode. It's that as well. You know what I mean?
Talking about skill set, but do you think, like we were talking about heavyweights can get away with having a lower skill set?
For sure.
It's pretty much like a different sport, isn't it? Heavyweight boxing.
Heavyweight boxing is totally different.
Because you can have someone like Deontay Wilder, who's just like hardest hitting puncher ever, pretty much. Maybe other than like Ernie Shavers, but he has pretty much no skill set. Over the past couple of years, he's developed a little bit, but
Even then,
I'll say it's not.
it didn't get him very far,
Yeah, I
did
was
it?
gonna say he's.
Because it was too little, too late, to be honest. But yeah, in the heavyweight scene, or just in general, in boxing, power is it's a big skill set to have, and when you do have that one bomb, it can carry you. But it's a blessing and a curse, isn't it? Because sometimes you start relying on it
Yeah.
and you don't work on your skill
Don't have a
set.
plan B.
Yeah,
But I don't think someone like Deontay Wilder would exist at welterweight or lightweight. As in someone who's got that low of a skill set, but just high power output.
yeah. No, I get you.
Wouldn't get as far in that weight division compared to heavyweight.
It's because these lower level guys, the skill set is just much higher, and it's more common to have a high level of skill set. And is that down to the amateur scene? Listen, there's not many heavyweights in the amateur scene.
There's hardly any, is there?
So you could win a national title after 2 or 3 fights. You know what I mean? Whereas if you're going in at 60 kilo like I am, then you're fighting 3 times in the region, then you're fighting another 4 or 5 times to get that. It's different. You know what I mean? The competition level is a lot higher, so that forces you to have a bigger skill set, I guess. Whereas heavyweights, there's kind of less of them. So especially nowadays.
I'll say just off statistics,
Yeah.
the weight and the height that on average that heavyweight is, most people aren't in that category, are they?
Nah.
So that'd be a big reason why you can afford to have a lower skill set, because everyone's going to hit hard in that weight category, aren't they? It'd be quite hard not to. So I suppose you can get away with it in that respect.
Yeah, no, 100% you can. This is why probably the best fighter to watch right now is Bam Rodriguez, and he's in the lightest weight division.
Yeah.
He's in flyweight. It's like 52 odd kilos. You know what I mean?
Yeah, something like that.
And the level of skill that he shows is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. There's even fighters that are kind of lost in history. If you really know your boxing, you know about Ricardo Lopez, who we've studied in the past. Just incredible skill set, but the common boxing fan has never heard of him because, again, he was a flyweight. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's getting a little bit more diluted skill set.
I'll say for the average boxing fan, I suppose they just want to see 2 of the biggest cunts trying to knock each other out, sort of thing. Whereas if you're watching 2 fellas who are 50 kilos going at it for 12 rounds and there's no like destruction, no one's going to pile around the TV in a pub to watch that, are they? Or go to Wembley for that. It's not going to happen. Even though, like, I know we'd rather watch that type of fight than Dillian White versus, like a Derek Chisora.
Yeah, for sure. And is that boxing as a sport's fault? For not?
Nah, it's a business, really, isn't it? Before it's a sport.
For sure.
You're not going to make someone like Ricardo Lopez the headline for Wembley.
No, but
it's not going to bring any money in.
Yeah, no, for sure. But what I mean is the culture of boxing. Isn't it our job as the coaches, as the boxing enthusiasts, to educate the masses on? Listen, these are the skill sets that we're looking for, that we identify when we see greatness in the ring, and it makes it easier for people to see. Do you know what I mean? But again, not everybody's gonna enjoy it to that aspect that we do. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard, isn't it?
I think there's casuals who like fighting, and then there's people who have like an interest in boxing and sort of like the art of it. But for the casual, I don't think that'd ever change, to be honest. That's like out of reach for anyone to sort of change their minds on.
Yeah, no, I agree. yeah, it's one of them ones, isn't it? It's just, it is what it is. If you know, you know. If you don't, hey, enjoy the Derek Chisoras and the Dillian Whites of the world, you know. But there is crazy levels to boxing that I feel like people miss out on, and if they had the likes of me and you commentating these fights, which we're going to start doing more of
Yeah,
as
we're gonna
well,
have to, aren't we?
even these more mainstream fights, which are lower level skills, just letting people know the things that are going on in the ring in real time, it's going to allow them to appreciate the sport more, because that's all it is. It's an education thing, really. You know, when you kind of know the nuances of the sport, then you'll start to look for them more.
Yeah,
It's like people,
apply it to other fights that you
100%.
watch in your own time.
It's like MMA. A lot of people, when they were first watching MMA, oh, I hate when it goes to the ground. It's because you don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
Then people go and do 6 months a year of jiu-jitsu, and
and
they
then they
love watching people.
appreciate it. Yeah,
Yeah, then they appreciate it, you know. So, um, yeah, I guess it is our responsibility to a certain extent to educate people on, like, listen, these are the skills, these are the things that are
yeah.
going on in the ring. You
That's
know
a
what I
good.
mean?
That's a good point actually, because people used to say about the grappling being boring, but then I suppose the equivalent to boxing is watching like Floyd Mayweather versus Pacquiao, where people say he ran away from him for 12 rounds, but they'd rather watch like a brain damage scrap, instead of something that's skillful. I suppose that's the equivalent.
It is. It's the exact equivalent. And when you start breaking down all of the things that Mayweather was doing, his decision making, his fighting on the inside, fighting on the outside, his frames, his this, that, the other, then you start really thinking like, yo,
Layers.
now we understand how great this guy was. Now we understand the nuances of the sport, so I can enjoy watching it, because that's all it is. To be honest, in my opinion, is people just aren't educated enough, and that's a lot to do with back in the day when they were teaching boxing. It was a lot more focused on the skill set, on the little arm drags, on the clinch work.
Yeah, because they used to wrestle, didn't they? It was like a fundamental. You need to wrestle and box at the same time.
1000%.
If you're gonna fight, sort of thing.
And now the clinch game is so shit
the worst it's ever been.
in most of these fights, because they never do it. And fucking Usyk,
I was just gonna say,
who's still wrestling training, is bullying all these heavyweights on the inside, because
Fury, who's like 6-7 inches taller than him, weighs a lot more than him.
he's getting manhandled in the clinch.
I would say because people said about it in the Wilder and Fury fight that Wilder wasn't big enough and that Fury was too strong for him. And Usyk comes along and just out wrestles him, and it's like you can't use that argument anymore. It's not a weight or a strength thing. It's a skill in itself.
Skills pay the bills in this sport. Like Mike Tyson said, listen, this is a thinking man sport, not a tough man sport. Tough men get hurt.
Yeah.
You know? But I just feel like the way boxing is taught nowadays is a lot of fitness training.
Yeah.
You come to an average amateur boxing club and you do a run and you do a circuit and you do
Skipping.
a bag circuit and you do sits, skipping
And shadow.
and all of that, and you hardly get taught the essence of what the true skill sets that you need are to box and how to develop them. You know what I mean? So,
But yeah, talking about wrestling, Terence Crawford has been wrestling since a kid. Still practices it now. I think I saw there was video of him. Might have been before the Spence fight, where he was like wrestling in his garden with some random fella. He was like an actual, sort of like pedigree wrestler, and he was just having his way with him. Might have even been a video with him and John Jones, if I remember properly, where they're like starting to grapple, and you can tell when he goes into a clinch, it's not just like a strength thing.
technique thing.
He's been developing them skills since he was a kid. really.
And ultimately, nearly all of combat sport, it's all about base. And wrestling gives you the ultimate base of knowing where to position your body and how to maneuver yourself out of situations and maneuver your opponent into situations that are more favourable to you.
Yeah.
So it's the ultimate base, really. And
I mean, you see, even in like American college wrestling, you look at videos of it, one of the wrestlers even makes the tiniest little mistake with the feet and they just get taken down straight away. They submit the position and most of the time they'll end up sort of losing the battle. But in boxing, you get more leeway, don't you?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's crazy because you see the dexterity of these big boys in these collegiate wrestling facilities, and they're fucking huge, and they're moving like they're fucking ballerinas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's crazy the amount of flexibility, dexterity, and strength that you need to be able to wrestle. And listen, that's all relatable to boxing and any combat sport that you do, really. Um, yeah, it's massive. It's going to be interesting to see how he handles. This is Crawford, by the way. How he handles
Against Canelo, yeah.
Canelo, because he's good on the inside. He's good with his head movement, but I feel like his feet is what is going to let him down. He's quite flat-footed and he's quite slow with his movement. So if Crawford can,
I'd still back Crawford.
yeah.
I mean, I said that ages ago and don't really want to go back on it.
The only question that I have on Crawford is if Gamboa in the weight class below him coming up to welterweight can rock him, then I wonder what Canelo's going to do when he hits him flush. You know what I mean? But yeah, we'll see. Only time will tell, I guess.
I just think he's going to make it just a boring 12 rounds of boxing.
I agree. I think he's going to hit and run for most of it.
Yeah.
And when Canelo starts to switch off mentally, that's when he'll stand and trade and bang and try and win a few exchanges and then get back on his bike again. Because that's his best way of beating him. Because Canelo's he follows you around the ring instead of cutting things off, and he's not very good with his in and out movement. This is where Bivol fucking had his way with him, really, didn't he? Because he was constantly bouncing in and out with that kind of Russian Soviet pendulum step type of base. And yeah, Canelo didn't have the answer to it, really, did he? So yeah, it'll be interesting.
A bit off topic, but I swear Canelo went vegan for that fight.
Did he? Yeah.
I think so.
So he wasn't getting the Mexican horse meat that he
yeah,
he
full of clenbuterol.
Yeah. Yeah. That's mad. Why would you do that?
I don't know.
But yeah.
I mean, it probably wasn't the reason why he lost, but it wouldn't have helped, would it?
Definitely wouldn't have helped, no. But oh well, it is what it is. But yeah, going back to the current state of boxing. If you go to an amateur boxing gym nowadays, you're not learning a lot of skill. Listen, I've been boxing for 18 years. Not once did any coach or amateur club teach me how to clinch.
No. You have to go to a Thai gym for that, don't you?
Yeah. Crazy though.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the first thing that they say when you're fucking getting rocked in a pro fight? Grab him, clinch.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you've never been taught it, how the fuck are you meant to be good at it?
Or just sparring growing up, it was always punch your way out the clinch. Yeah. It was never like advance the clinch or, you know,
advance your position.
Control the clock or something.
Or control the opponent's head.
It's always just...
Yeah, or stop him throwing shots in the clinch.
Yeah, punch out the clinch every single time, and there's nothing else to it. At that point, you're just in a 50-50.
You are, yeah. You are.
I mean, you're gambling.
For sure. And that's what most boxing gyms teach, is just the bare bones, and they leave you in 50-50 positions where
you've got to rely on
it's chance,
your speed, or, you know, your power instead of your actual
skill
skill
set
to fall back on.
for sure, and a lot of the kids who are young and they excel are the kids who are a little bit faster, a little bit
Yeah.
tougher, a little bit more powerful than the average kid. But really, once the skill set starts to level out after they get a little bit older and they get to the senior level of the amateurs, and everybody's got a good skill set,
Yeah, and everyone's powerful. Everyone's fully grown up. Everyone's quick.
then they get found out.
Mhm.
Because, like we said, it's called the sweet science for a reason. It's a skill based sport more than anything, more than any other sport really as well. You know, there's a lot to combat sports, and boxing, in my opinion, and you tell me if you agree, it's not taught like a combat sport in 90% of gyms
It's taught like an
around the world.
S&C class.
It's taught, yeah, exactly like an S&C class. It's taught like a fucking high rocks class.
Yeah.
Just go in, here are the exercises or the drill or the hardly ever do drills. Do you know what I mean? 1, 2 on the bag. Okay, go,
Quick.
go. And it's like, wait, actually tell me the essence of what a jab is meant to look like, how I'm meant to throw it, when I'm meant to throw it, why I'm meant to throw it, all that sort of stuff, you know. And once I do throw it, how do I get out the way, or how do I get out the way while I'm throwing it as well, and all of that, you know. It's that's one of the big things for me that we teach a lot in our one-to-ones and our sessions that not many other people teach is defense. It's fucking huge.
Yeah. Defense first.
If defense first, the art of boxing is to hit and not get hit, and the not get hit aspect has been severely neglected over the last few years.
Definitely.
Because listen, nobody wants to be taking these unnecessary shots and leaving the gym with headaches and brain damage as you're older. And listen, combat sports is the most brutal, realistic form of sport in the world. It's the most dangerous form of sport in the world. Fuck the NFL and all that shit. Listen, you're getting our sport is about punching you in the head, causing brain damage, causing blood clots in the brain. If we can, let's break them ribs. Let's perforate your fucking eardrums. Let's hit you to the liver as hard as we can. All of that, you know what I mean? So it's so important. When I see a lot of people doing pads and stuff nowadays, and I would say 90% of the pad work is punches. You might do a little roll, a little slip, a little angle change.
But it's not layered. It's not layered and it's not systemized.
No. And it's separate half the time. Attack, then defend. It's not like attack and defend at the same time, because that's what you're going to have to be doing in a fight as well, is while you're throwing your shots, that's actually when you're most vulnerable. You know what I mean? So you need to learn how to attack and defend at the same time. It's a vital part of the skill set that people miss out. But this is why we're here to talk about it, so that we can kind of bring a bit more light to it and let people know, listen, if you really want to learn how to box, come and see somebody like me and Lewis, because we'll teach you the real fundamentals, you know what I mean? There was a lad in the gym today, not to name names, but he had just done a session with someone, and he come up to me afterwards. He goes, "Oh, can I book in with you?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. How was your session?" "Oh, it was good, but I don't feel like I learned anything."
Problem?
Massive problem. If it's just a fitness session on the pad and you're taking somebody on the pads for an hour, but you haven't taught them anything, it's not very good coaching, is it? You know. And like I said, it's a fucking brutal sport. If these kids aren't getting taught stuff, they're leaving the gym with headaches and potential broken noses and broken orbital bones and whatever. You know what I mean? It's sticky. We've got to do better as a collective.
I mean,
to
what would you say to someone who's a coach and says, well, maybe I run my gym just how we described, go for a run, shadow box, skip, hit the bags as hard as you can, and that's the session done. What would you say to someone who's like...
I would say this is important, and I learned this off Bruce Lee. I'm going to butcher the quote maybe a little bit, but he says one of the teacher's main roles is to make sure that he is aware of how much influence that he has on his students, and not to influence them too much to the point where it's just his ideology, it's just his mindset. That's what a lot of these amateur boxing coaches do, these gyms. This is our style. Everybody must fit into this box.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? No, actually put your ego to the side. Go and learn how to box on the back foot, how to counter punch, how to box as a southpaw, how to box a southpaw.
Or even more simply, just catch a jab to begin with.
That's not even taught.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's crazy. It's crazy because, yeah, I agree. A jab defense it's massive. And this is what me and Lewis did to get to the point that we have got to. We've gone and learned from a variety of coaches. Listen, you've got the internet. Stop being so egotistical, thinking that you know everything. There's 1,000 coaches online who are teaching loads of different methods. And
I mean, how many hours have we spent studying tutorials or just film study or going to seminars? It's countless.
Hours and thousands of pounds, by the way.
Yeah.
On learning all these things from all these other top level coaches. It might be a Thai coach, it might be an MMA coach. It doesn't matter what they are. You might learn something.
Say it's all the same stuff, isn't it? Combat sports.
It's all about
just
combat
because
sports.
wrestling isn't throwing punches doesn't mean it's not applicable.
Exactly. And it is applicable, very applicable. And the more tools you have in your toolbox, the more problems you can solve. If you've only got a hammer and a screwdriver and you're going to do a job as a workie for someone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's only a limited amount of things you can fucking fix or do with that, you know what I mean? But if you've got every tool in the game,
better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Exactly. So if you've got an amateur boxing club, you should be out studying twice as hard as your students. You should always be 2 or 3 steps ahead of everyone, because there's people like me and Lewis that are out here actually doing that, where we've overtaken you, we've lapped you a couple of times already with the amount of stuff that we know when it comes to combat sports and how to train. And listen, we can pad orthodox southpaw, back foot, front foot, counter punch, whatever, everything, every single defense for every single punch. You should know it. And not just one variation of the defense, every variation that's possible. And just not have a closed mind is the key, you know.
You should have a film study reference for each thing that you do.
Film study reference is massive for sure.
Film doesn't lie.
Shout out to Barry Robinson for putting us onto the fact that he always has film study references for a lot of his skills that he teaches on his tutorials, because it's a great way of learning. Listen, people don't just want to take your word for it, they want to see
real life examples.
And like Lewis said, film doesn't lie. So when you see somebody doing it in real life and you see what the consequences are of said action, then it's easier to apply in real life because you've got examples, haven't you? Instead of just somebody saying, when someone does this, do that. Okay, cool, then go for it.
You need proof. And
not just that, when you're teaching a skill, there's so many layers to teaching somebody. You know, you've got the what the technique is. You've got why do you do this technique?
When do you do it?
When do you do it? In the ring or in the time of the round?
Yeah.
Is it something in the beginning of the fight, in the middle of the fight, at the end of the fight, end of the round, beginning of the round, middle of the round?
Mhm.
Again, positional in the ring, everything. And then you got the how as well, how you actually do it. So you got the what, okay, this is the technique, but then you got to break down how you do it in as much detail as possible. This is another thing that annoys me with a lot of boxing coaches is they teach you a technique, but they don't explain the how to a really high level. I teach it like I'm teaching someone who has never learned how to box. He doesn't know, he or she doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
I explain
Even if it's like an already established fighter sort of thing.
because
That's what I find.
exactly.
Coaching people is like, whether it's a 10-year-old kid or like a 25, 30-year-old pro, you still got to break it down to the same level.
For sure.
Because otherwise you're skipping steps at that point.
You are skipping steps, and there's little details that they've probably never heard because nobody goes into the depth of the why. Why do I squeeze my hand on the last second instead of squeezing a little bit earlier? All these little things, you know what I mean? Where do I need to land with my knuckles? How much do I need to turn my hand over?
Or even big one
all
I find
these
is, where
little
do I
things.
put my thumb?
Where do you put your
And
thumb?
you'd never think that's a question that gets asked, but I find that a lot.
It is definitely a question that gets
especially with boxing
asked.
gloves. Like with MMA, it's a bit more obvious, but boxing gloves, so many kids just don't have a clue how to make a
I've
fist
done
properly.
session with lads who have been boxing for years and they're having wrist issues or whatever. Okay, take your boxing gloves off. Keep your wraps on. Just take your boxing gloves off. Punch that bag. And they're making fists like they don't know where to put their fucking thumb. It's because they've never done it. You know what I mean? And again, you've got to strip it all back and away to the bare essentials of everything, you know, so that you can get your point across of exactly what you want from the technique, because that's again something that's missed. And unless you're coming in with somebody like me or Lou, then you're skipping steps, you're missing important parts of the details that are vital, because all these little things, again a Barry Robson quote, small things are all things. Small things add up to make the total picture, innit? But yeah, it's one of them ones. It's sad to see, really, the amount of people who go to these boxing gyms for years on end and they never get anywhere.
Yeah, don't learn much. I mean, we've seen. I mean, how many examples do we know personally? Goes to the gym for years and there's just not much development.
For sure, I see it all the time. And then, to make it worse, the boxing coach will have a go at the student and be like, "You don't know shit." I know I don't know shit because you never taught me shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's mad. It's crazy, bro. It's something that we have to do as a whole. As coaches, we need to take more accountability for our own education, our own development, our own communicative skills.
It's just up on the standards, isn't it? As a whole,
the standards, man. And this is why the standard. This is the whole. The beginning of the topic. The current state of boxing compared to what it used to be, the standards are dropping. The standards are dropping, and is that because we haven't got many high level coaches anymore? Yeah, probably.
That's probably one of the biggest.
Probably one of the biggest things. Definitely. Something that.
Go on. What were you gonna say?
Something that the Americans do a lot better than the British, anyway. Coach way better than we do. As an overall.
Even like the Cubans in the amateurs, level of coaching is so much higher, especially in British boxing. I'd say professional and amateur, it's a lot lower standard.
One of the big things in coaching as well that we've severely neglected, especially in Britain, just because of the culture and the way we are, is having fun, being loose. This is why the Cubans, the Uzbekistanis, the Kazakhstanis, and all these national amateur Olympic teams are so much better than us because they're always doing tech spars. They're always nice and light. This is one of the reasons why these Thai
I
fighters
was going
are
to say,
having 200, 300 fights because they're doing a lot of tech sparring. They're not going in and doing 12 rounds of hard sparring every other day
yeah,
and killing themselves in the gym because you can leave a lot of your brain cells in the gym.
I'll say every time I've sparred Thai, I've never come away with a headache. But
Exactly.
as soon as you go in the boxing gym, the head guard goes on. It's like, I mean, there's a good chance that
Good chance.
I'm going
It's
to
a
be
good chance.
hurting
Yeah,
later that night.
it's a good chance that you're going to war,
Yeah.
innit? And it shouldn't be like that. It should be
Most of the time,
very skillful.
it's just a fight behind closed doors, isn't it? If
For
we're being
sure.
honest,
For sure.
I'm never thinking I'm going into spar. I'm always like, yeah, probably end up being like pretty much a scrap. It's a
Yeah.
scrap just with a head guard and slightly heavier gloves. That's it.
Yeah, for sure. But again, that's not how we teach it.
Nah,
It's not how we spar each other, is it?
nah.
We spar each other a lot different. We spar each other like the Thai spar each other, nice and light, skillful, playing. Keep a bit of speed, but take all the power out, because you don't need it.
That's not to say there's no room for hard sparring.
Yeah.
I mean, closer to a fight, you need to be getting them rounds in.
Hard sparring is very important because you've got to learn how to take a good lick and what your reaction is going to be. And you've got to program that. Listen, a lot of what combat sports is about is kind of retraining your nature. As soon as somebody gets hit or somebody is about to get hit and they've never trained before, the first thing they do is flinch. That's a natural response.
Mm-hmm.
Every human has that response.
It's just ingrained into you, isn't it?
It's ingrained into you.
From birth.
But the reason why martial arts are martial arts is because we learn how to negate that and how to be able to even get punched and still keep your eyes open.
Yeah.
That's a massive skill set, but
it's reprogramming your instincts.
Yeah, it is. And again, let's just go all the way back to like what the root reason why martial arts started is for the oppressed and the weak to be able to fight against the strong. That's what martial arts is for. You know what I mean? So again, going back to what we were saying before, a lot of it's now like reliant on your speed and your power and all this and the other, but that's not what martial art was based on. Martial arts was based on having these skill sets so that even if you're a skinny woman, for example, you can still defend yourself and hit somebody so clean that you can knock them out. You know what I mean?
I was going to say, best example for that would be like Demetrius Johnson. He was in a jits tournament not long ago and he was wrestling someone who was like double the weight of him. Sorry, grappling with someone who was double the weight of him. I mean, that's not a strength or a size thing, because obviously it's not. He's only like 5'3", must weigh what, like 130 pounds, 140 pounds, something like that. He's weighing someone who's like almost double the weight of him. You can't say it's a strength or a size thing. That has to be skill to overcompensate for it.
100%.
There's nothing else it can be.
And that's the beauty of jiu-jitsu for me, is the fact that you could be a 10-year-old lad and be able to, or even a woman, and be able to hold somebody down, submit them, strangle them, unconscious, without being reliant on your strength, or their strength, or using their strength against them, Again, wrestling does that as well. It's all base, isn't it? It's all technique. So that is the absolute essence of what martial arts is. I feel like boxing is coming more and more away from that. It's like we're losing techniques. And that's why I said to you, did you see my response to it? Because you messaged me, didn't you, this morning saying, oh, we're never going to get these secrets out of Dwight Mohammed Kwabi now. I said, listen, we're going to have to film study the shit out of it and figure these secrets out, because we can't let them just die with him, because that's what's happening. We're losing so many little techniques and little things because they're not getting passed down from these old school fighters to become trainers to then, you know what I mean? And the people who are at the highest level is because they are being trained by these old school fighters, these old school trainers who have got all of these little tricks in their toolbox.
We were speaking before about film study. How many coaches have scouting reports?
What's a scouting report, Lou?
Just a breakdown on your opponents, what they do well, what they don't do well. That's a very brief overview, but how many coaches will have that?
None.
That's where you build your game plan from. That's where you're studying. Well, that's where a lot of your studying attention will go to. But how many coaches will not just like watch a fight, how many will make notes and study it properly and analyse, and like I said, build a game plan off of it? Because like the lower level amateur, I suppose, you won't have as much sort of footage or as much knowledge. But like the higher level amateurs, kids who are fighting in nationals or seniors or even pros, how many of them will have scouting reports? I bet you it's not many. I don't even, if it was to guess, I couldn't even tell you how low.
Yeah, it's not many, but okay. Very, very good point. Let's take the state of that now. And even just like the analysis levels of fights at a high level, like people breaking things down, even on national TV, on Sky Sports or whatever the fuck.
It's bad, isn't it?
It's shit.
Yeah.
The analytics in boxing is shit. Compare that to the NFL.
Yeah, night and day. NFL is just like the highest level study.
So
and you don't get much better than that. Or basketball, even.
Or basketball. Or basketball.
I mean, even football's a lot better. You look at Monday Night Football every week and you've got Gary Neville spitting loads of game at you. In boxing, there is absolutely nothing.
There's not.
MMA's slightly better because you've got someone like John Jones or Henry Cejudo. But in boxing, it's quite poor.
It's whack, yeah, it is. Unless you follow certain people on Instagram who kind of do their part, you know what I mean? But it's few and far between. It's not common knowledge, especially in, like you said, in these amateur boxing gyms. You know what I mean? It's non-existent. If you go to an NFL, kind of, number one, they have film study days.
They have film study rooms. They have cinema rooms.
They have cinema rooms to study film.
Yeah,
they study every single play of every single match.
They break it down to 0.1 speed. Watch it back and back.
Literally, it's they like, break everything down.
Yeah, if you're in college playing American football, one of your lessons at 9 o'clock in the morning might be film study.
1,000%.
Where does that even like remotely exist in combat sports, especially boxing?
And they don't just film study games. They film study their own practice.
Yeah.
When do we ever film study our practice? Never. You spar. Is it ever recorded? No. Do you ever watch your spars back?
No. That's what I mean.
Do you ever analyse your spars and go through it with your coach? Never. I think I'm not sure if I sent it to you. I seen a video of Ilya.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. Yeah.
And he was showing somebody, look at all these stats that we've got. The amount of leg kicks I've thrown on the back foot, on the front foot, on the edge of the ring, in the middle of the ring.
Every single strike they've ever thrown in the UFC.
Everything.
And then categorised it from, like you said, on the back foot, or how many calf kicks from the southpaw stance have they thrown, or from the orthodox, or how many jabs have they thrown from each stance, how many have landed, how many have missed, sort of thing, or how many reps of jab defense have they done, or how many have they caught. It's like everything is broken down from that, and that's a proper scouting report. Yep. That's what it should look like.
Yeah, for sure. We just shit at it, aren't we? In boxing, to be honest, it's just.
That's why MMA is evolving, and it's got better, and boxing's
devolving. What the fuck are we doing, guys? We're getting worse. You know what I mean? We're devolving because we're not studying the game how it's meant to be studied, and we're not appreciating it how it's meant to be appreciated, innit?
for the most dangerous combat sport, I'd argue, it should be a priority.
Exactly. 1,000%. Because your brain cells are on the line. Every time you get... Your life's on the line every time you get in the ring. You could die in that ring.
Yeah.
People do die in that ring every year. You know what I mean? But yeah.
People don't think it happens in the amateurs, but it does.
It does. It happens at the white collar level.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's like the worst quality you're going to find, isn't it? If it happens in that, then it's going to happen in the ones above it.
And just, listen, in general, we've been disrespected. We've been disrespecting boxing for the last couple of decades at least. Because now YouTubers can go and we have the misfits and all this, that, the other, and you can be a celebrity and you can box. But if I'm a celebrity, I can't go into the NFL and be like, oh, can I just play one game? You know what I mean? Oh, I fancy playing for the Lakers at this season. You know what I mean? No? You know what I mean? But you could be a YouTuber and you can fight Mike Tyson or whoever the fuck, you know what I mean? It's just total disrespect to the sport, really. We're not treating it like a combat sport. We're not. And this is why, especially over the last few years, these lower weight classes, the Japanese are fucking... Look at Inoue, look at... what's the other guy's name? Nakataki or whatever his name is, some shit.
What's the kickboxer called? What's his name?
Tension.
Tension, yeah.
Cleaning up, guys. They're cleaning up. Why? Because the Japanese, they love their technique. They appreciate technique.
Yeah.
They all sit there in silence watching every part of the sport. If somebody slips a punch, they're like, oh, clap.
Yeah.
We don't do that
I was saying, when
it's England.
When it's a 50-50 dogfight, it's like, you know what I mean, no one's really that asked.
Yeah, no one's really asked unless it's a double knockout, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going to say, they appreciate the art to it.
They appreciate the art so much more
the
than we
ties
do.
as well. Do you know what I mean? When I was in Sydney last year in the UFC gym, the Thai coach, like I hadn't heard it before, you know, when I'm sparring, and because it was only sparring light, it's not like I'm relying on my power, and it's just purely skill based. And he was like you said, he's making noises or he's like clapping when I do stuff. Like, I've never had that before. You know, appreciating the skill rather than just the pure athleticism side of it.
And this is the thing, it's the coach's responsibility to positively reinforce good footwork, good skill set, good head movements. Do you know what I mean? If you're doing it and your coach is never saying anything good about it, then you're not going to be positively reinforced or encouraged to do it again. Do you know what I mean? But when you're getting into a 50-50 and your coach is fucking absolutely loving it, then, you know, it's kind of what you get conditioned to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's it's one of them ones. We've got to raise our standards, don't we? Really, it's a bit of a mess at the moment.
We need more art and spirituality rather than the sort of science side to it.
For sure, because it's a martial art. It is an art form.
I was like, I probably worded that wrong.
Nah, you worded that correctly, bro.
Completely.
I love the way you worded it, because you know what? A lot of times, and this is how we develop new things, new skills. Jiu-jitsu is constantly developing new techniques.
Yeah, I was going to say...
Constantly. Do you know why? Because jiu-jitsu is a lot more right-brained than it is left-brained. It's not logical as much as it is kind of intuitive. Do you know what I mean? So we've got to do that with our martial art as well. We've got to come up with new techniques and new ways of punching and new ways of defending and new ways of boxing as a collective to find these new things. And it is a martial art. It's an art form. It's very spiritual. It's very spiritual. 100% it is. And this is the Bruce Lee kind of philosophy to martial arts, you know. It's he says, don't think, feel. You know what I mean?
Well, again, that's a very, it's a very illogical emotionally driven sort of thing to say, isn't it? But that's what boxing is missing.
Because as far as I'm concerned, the best British boxer, I don't want to say of all time, but definitely in my lifetime, is Prince Nassim Hamid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Nassim Hamid broke all the rules. Hands down. Showboating, dancing, completely into the art form.
He was playing about, wasn't he?
Playing.
I mean, I can't remember what the Einstein quote was. I had probably butchered this quote, but it was something about you learn through play.
The most.
The way you grasp the world is through play first.
Definitely. And when you're hard sparring, it's hard for you to learn unless you're going to look back at it and film study it.
Yeah.
But when you're hard sparring, the arousal levels are so high that there's not much thinking, there's not much processing going on.
Just instinctive.
It's just a fight.
Fighting, yeah.
It's just a fight. But when you're playing,
It forces you to box, not fight.
And it forces you to do different things as well. And you might think, oh shit, I didn't know I could throw a check right hook going backwards, circling to my right. Oh shit, that's a nice shot. I might give that a go. Do you know what I mean? And little things like that.
Because it forces you to box, and I mean you can fight at any time. If you're in an actual fight and you have to make it dirty or you have to just sort of bite down on your gummy, you can do that at any time.
And that's what hard sparring is there for.
Yeah.
To teach you that, to be like, have you got that grittiness in you? Yeah, cool. Once you've got it, then you don't have to fucking practice it too much.
You know, it's not going to leave you, is it?
Nah.
But yeah, if it forces you to box, you've got more tools to your belt. And if you come against someone who's actually going to outbox you, you're going to have to use that skill instead of just relying on the grit side of it.
And also, what I found with the play side of things, it forces you to think more freely instead of having a rigid mindset. So sometimes when we're play sparring, for example, I'll be flat-footed for 30 seconds of a round or whatever. Then I change my style completely the next round. And you have to do that in fights as well. Do you know what I mean? Because oftentimes when you're in a fight, what you've set out to do
it's like tunnel
might
vision.
not work.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're like, nah, this is all I can do.
Don't have a plan B.
You've got to have plan A to Z, not just plan A, B, C. You've got to have all of them. You've got to be able to adapt, because the survival of the fittest is about adaptation.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
a million styles. To quote Barry Robinson again.
Yeah, shout out to Barry, yeah, for sure. A million styles. Again, to quote Bruce Lee, I have no style as my style. I have no limitation as my limitation. You know, it's very profound, and it's completely correct as well.
So to conclude, and say the current state of boxing, there's too much S&C involved in it with not enough art. The science and the art of boxing isn't taught to the depth that it should be anymore. If not, in a lot of gyms, not at all.
It's gone. People have taken the science part of the sweet science too literally, and it's not become. Yeah. It's not the sweet art form anymore.
Yeah, it's just the science.
Sweet art form.
It's the VO2 max and how heavy can you squat sort of thing.
Yeah.
Instead of how many reps of jab defense have you had this week.
Listen, your fucking S&C and how much you can deadlift and squat and all that shit is like the last thing you need to focus on. The most important thing is to develop your skills, and to develop your skills you need to come and see guys or girls who know how to box, how to teach you how to develop your skill sets with drills, with techniques.
Like you say, not just the what, but the why, the when, the how, where to do it. All that goes amiss.
It does go amiss, but listen, we're here to bring it back to the mainstream so that we can actually start evolving again in boxing instead of devolving, and not letting MMA overtake us and all these other combat sports overtake us in terms of development.
Yeah, and like we were saying about the NFL and basketball before catch up to them. I mean, they've set the example.
They've easily,
So
yeah,
it's
they've
there
set
to
the
follow.
example, especially for film study.
Yeah.
We need to analyse stuff to the level that they are analysing stuff, and get to that level of film study and that level of attention to detail, because your brain cells are at stake, your life's at stake when you get in the ring, so treat it like that, you know what I mean? And get in with people who really give a fuck about developing you as a holistic fighter, not just, oh, let's make him fitter.
Yeah.
And whatever, yeah. So yeah, to conclude, let's all take a bit more responsibility and
Up the coaching standards
and
as a
up the
whole.
standards, yeah, because the standards are dropping. So
There we go.
till next time.
Yeah.